I'm a pretty huge fan of philosophy. I took one class and I fell in love with it, but it's not something I feel like I want to do for the rest of my life because, well, mainly because there's not really a lot of job opportunities out there that you know requires a philosophy degree or only a philosophy degree. But I find it interesting, so I found this dichotomy test. I think that's what it's called. It's just called philosophy. There's apparently 74 questions and yeah. 74 questions. I'd rather find true love than be wealthy. Agree, I guess. I'd rather be given an expensive car than save the life of a starving child. I must say disagree. I would rather receive money than gifts. Yes, because that money can buy whatever gift you want. I'd rather be in a sexual relationship without intimacy than be in an intimate relationship without sex. This makes no sense. How can it be a sexual relationship without intimate? That's just a big oxymoron. But would I rather be in a sexual relationship without intimacy than be in an intimate relationship without sex? I'm gonna say I don't know. There is no inherent meaning in life. There is if you make it. A world without color is far darker than a world without order. That's an interesting question right there. A world without color is far darker than a world without order. I'm gonna say agree. Society will always need a strong authority. I mean, throughout history, like, most of the things that you hear have some sort of authority, and it didn't really go that well, but some went really well. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know. I believe in some form of spiritual afterlife. It's like, I'm gonna go, I don't know. If I had to choose, I would save myself instead of a loved one. Well, what are these questions? If I had to choose, I would save my life instead of a loved one. Well, if you die, it's gonna make the loved one sad. But if you save yourself, you're gonna feel bad for the loved one, unless you don't like the loved one. I'm gonna go agree. The ends usually justify the means. Agree, I guess. I'd rather live a life of personal pleasure than settle down and have children. Dang. I don't know. Like, would you rather be happy and alone or just have children and be happy? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm gonna agree. Life is suffering and fundamentally meaningless. Technically, life is suffering because that's just what it is. I think life is suffering, but meaningless. I don't know about meaningless. You mean you just give it a meaning, but some people believe that life doesn't have a meaning, and some people believe that life does have a meaning. These are nihilists, and then the people who believe in that life has a meaning is existentialists. I am someone who's very leaning towards existentialism, so I'm gonna go disagree. When making a decision, the underlying reason is always more important than the consequences. Well, according to Newton's third law, every action has an equal opposite reaction. So I'm gonna say that you should consider both, right? But I'm pretty sure when you make a decision, you only think about the reason why you're doing it instead of what's gonna happen, right? That's how a lot of people think. But I like to look at it both ways, so I'm gonna go neutral. Extraordinary claim requires extraordinary evidence. Agree. Yeah, agree. There is more to the world than the mere material. Agree. Most people are inherently selfish. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Disagree with that? I'm just going to say right now, history. We should strive towards a utopian society. I don't know. Sometimes we must suffer in the present so that we can have a better future. A lot of people should be doing that. I agree. No actions are inherently moral or immoral. Inherently. I'm gonna go agree. Reason is more important than emotion. Agree. I agree with this. Strongly agree. Look at politics. If you look at things with reason instead of emotion, you'll see that maybe we should do that instead. I don't know. It is foolish to believe a claim if there is no evidence to back it up. I agree with this. I agree. I'm a big evidence guy, and if there's some sort of evidence, I will believe it. If there is no evidence, I won't believe it. Simple as that. My mental well-being is more important to me than material possessions. Agree. Selfishness is a virtue. Selflessness is a future virtue. I can't talk. Selflessness. So you're not selfish. You like to help people instead of yourself. But if you can't help yourself, how can you help other people? Disagree. Our society is fundamentally flawed and in need of a radical reform. Every single one, unless you're amazing. I prefer friendships that help me grow as a person as opposed to ones that are exciting. Agree. There's an underlying morality in everything that we do. Agree. Without music, life would be a mistake. What? Without music. I mean, music is just entertainment. I'm pretty sure life can live without music, but a lot of things in history like had some sort of music into it. I must say, I don't know. These they'll exist in omniscient, omnipotent, and absolute being. So it's still God. I'm someone who's not religious. I'm someone who, I guess you can say agnostic, because I'm someone who has evidence, right? I can't say that there is or there isn't because I don't have evidence to prove it. And I don't know. If I have evidence that there is one, I will say agree. If there's evidence that there is not one, I will disagree. But since I don't know what the evidence is, and since I don't know if there really is an absolute being out there, there's just no evidence to tell unless it comes to me and there's some sort of evidence that comes to me. So I'm gonna go, I don't know. Consciousness is immaterial. Consciousness is immaterial. So being conscious, is it like not materialistic? I don't know. My own prosperity matters more to me than the happiness of those around me. So are you someone who cares about your own happiness? Or are you someone who just doesn't really care that much about the happiness of others? So you're kind of narcissistic. Disagree. Slightly disagree. People who desire constant success must change their conduct with the times. People who desire constant success must change their conduct with the times. Well, society changes, and that means something that you probably are gonna do is gonna change as well. So I agree with this. It is virtuous to live a simple life without an abundance of physical comforts. Without an abundance, so like living without that much physical comforts. I think it is. That's what a simple life is. We are all insignificant in the eyes of the universe. In the eyes of the universe, we are freaking tiny as hell. We are super tiny. Like, there's so much out there. It's insane. But in the eyes of the universe, I believe that we are insignificant because we're just like one of probably the many. Like, using like logical thinking, I'm pretty sure like there's so many other people out there that we don't know about, and we're just one of them. A society without marriage would be better than a society without divorce. Okay, so a society without marriage, which is what kind of marriage? Like social marriage or like religious marriage? Like what marriage you talking about? Economic marriage? Like forced marriage? Would be better than a society without divorce. I must say I don't know. Our society defines us. Whatever society you live in, nurture versus nature, I believe, so that's what it's called. And yeah, it kind of does. I didn't mean to do, I don't know. Agree. Spirit and matter are two separate enemies. So spirit is religious, matter is science, right? So they are two separate enemies. Well, matter is like everything around you, right, is matter. So like the computer I'm on, the matter. Like I'm pretty sure we all know what matter is. We all took third grade science. Spirit is more like religious, afterlife, more like omniscient beings. And I believe that, yes, they are two separate entities. Agree. I will usually put my family, my community, or my people above my own personal goals. So am I narcissistic? I guess I'll agree. I mean, yeah. Revolution is sometimes a benefit to society. Yes, it is. Because the Industrial Revolution, that happened, right? Without the Industrial Revolution happening in Great Britain, we wouldn't have that we would still be suffering in factories right now. So yes, it is sometimes beneficial. People have the never mind. People have the right to try to achieve as much pleasure. Yes, they do, as long as it goes with the law. I believe that. Life is despair. That's a very interesting question. To make sure I really know what it's trying to ask, I know what despair is, but I'm gonna try and make sure I know what it means. I'm gonna look it up. weight loss. So is life is absent. Disagree. I'm disagreeing with that. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. So if you're like smart in everything, but you're not smart in being a good person, then, I mean, technically, you're smart in the mind, but you're not smart as a human being. So, I mean, you do have education, but you also don't have education but you don't have education in like a certain aspect. Like you can be a freaking like Sheldon Cooper genius at like quantum physics, but you can be like an absolute degenerate at social things, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't have education at all. You have education, but you just don't have education well you need as a human. I'm gonna disagree on this. Possesses free will. Human beings possess free will. Yes, we all have free will. We just have things restricting that free will. But we do have free will. You can do whatever you want right now. You can go outside, strip naked, run around the house, and do push-ups. Like you can do whatever you want. It's just that we have things in our society that forces us to not do that. So strongly agree. It is good to my thought. It is good to strive towards fame, wealth, and power. When you strive towards wealth, fame, and power, your personality will change, unless you really believe that you won't. But life right now, this is like one of like the few things that humans strive for. It's like my three holy trinities: money, power, and sexual pleasure. Right? That's what they want. Right? All humans want that. That's the desires. Every crime, everything that you see that humans do bad on, it goes to those three things. Right? In my personal opinion. But is it good to go there? I think it is good to go there because obviously who wants to be famous, right? Who wants to be wealthy? Who wants to be powerful? But do I think this is good? I'm gonna say no. I don't think it's good, but you can't be overdoing it. So it's good, but it's also not good. I'm gonna go disagree, but not that much disagree. I would rather live alone in luxury than my poverty with friends and family. Okay, this is the life. This is money. Is money? Was it happy? Money equals happiness or something? Money does not equal happiness. So, like, would you rather be alone with a bunch of money, or would you rather be poor and broke with your friends and family? Right. So, would you rather cry in your $1 million mansion, or would you rather be happy with your friends on the street? Right. It's like one of those, questions, and it's like the biggest question. I'm someone who I guess I can live alone. Like I'm someone I guess who can live alone, but it will become depressing. But at the same time, I love my family. This is a very hard question. I'm gonna go. I don't know, because it's a very hard question to answer. It is very hard because I like to be happy, but I don't want to be on the street begging for money, and then I become depressed, right? And my entire family becomes depressed. But I would love to have a lot of money, but being alone sucks, right? So it's kind of hard. Societal progression should be carried out slowly and in a small. I agree. That's how society became a thing. If we take small steps, unless it's Babylon. Holy crap, Babylon was insane. Pleasure is the highest good. Is it the highest good? Everybody likes pleasure. Pleasure is the top priority. If you are happy with what you're doing right now, you feel good about yourself. That's what it is. Money can buy things that makes you feel good. Being famous makes your self-esteem higher, which makes you feel good. When you have a lot of power in something, you feel good about yourself, which is pleasure. And I believe that, yes, I think pleasure is the highest good. Strongly agree. I don't care about morality. Disagree, that's easy. It is foolish to let emotions influence your decisions. I strongly agree with this opinion because if you let emotions influence your decisions, you don't think of the reason, you think of satisfying your emotional stance, right? And I feel like instead of looking at things and decisions that are very impactful emotionally, you should not look at it emotionally, you should look at it reasonably and rationally, and I guess some sort of common sense. And you soon to realize that that decision was better than letting it, your emotions take over. I'm very strongly for this, so I'm gonna say strongly agree. Nothing can be proven to be true. I strongly agree with this. You don't know what you don't know. What was that? one quote that one Descartes said, I think, therefore I am, right? You think, therefore you am. But there are some things out there, like you can't really prove anything if you don't know if it's true, or like if you don't know that, like for example, brain in the vat. I learned this from a philosophy class. Brain in the vat sounds incredibly strange and sci-fi thing where we believe that our brains are in some sort of a vat and we don't exist. You know, this can all be a simulation, but you can't prove or disprove that because you don't know, unless you know the doctor takes you out of the vat and there you go, right? So I strongly agree with this statement. A life of fame and fortune is more desirable to me than a happy and meaningful life. Again, this is the same as the other one. I'm gonna say I don't know. I can't answer those questions. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Obviously, be kind. The world of ideas is superior to the physical world. We wouldn't be here without ideas, right? We wouldn't be here without certain things like science, math, reading, and all that other stuff, right? So is it superior? Well, it kind of codepends with each other. I'm gonna say agree because, yeah, I guess. It's better to live a frugal. I never heard that word in my entire life. What the fuck does that even mean? Frugal. Sounds weird. Economical, so saving. Okay. So would you? No, because you're gonna be money stressed, right? If that's what I'm getting at, I don't think we should. I think we should. Everybody should live a life where they don't have to worry about money, because money is something that can break apart relationships, and it's something that a lot of people stress over. Think about it like this: if you're working paycheck to paycheck and your car breaks down, and what's the chance that you're thinking to yourself, oh no, now I'm screwed, I'm gonna be homeless now, right? So I don't think people should live this kind of life, but people are forced to live this life, right? So I'm gonna say disagree. It's not better. I think it's worse. Most statements are statements of truth or fact more than they are statements of emotion. So morality is entirely emotional. Even though I did say a long time ago, well, in a past question, well, I'm a moral guy, even though I literally contradict myself, saying that I should not look at things emotionally. But I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say not. I don't know. Scientific research is more important than art and music. I think scientific research is more important than art and music. I would rather live in a wealthy society with little to no morals than live in a poor. Okay. I'm gonna go. Well. Right now, I live in a society where it's a mix of this, where we live in a not that wealthy society, and we also it's like a mix, right? But if you have no morals, right, and people are just actually buttheads, but you have a lot of money, I mean, who cares what other people think, right? Who cares, right? But you live in a poor society with horrible morals and identity, well, everybody's just gonna be happy and nice, but they ain't gonna have that much money, right? Very hard question. I'm gonna go disagree, right? I'm gonna go disagree, but that's a very close disagree. We should focus on the well-being of our community. I think we should, because our community affects us as an individual. I really do believe that collective groups can influence an individual, unless you don't care, unless you're a freaking NEET, I guess. Our ideas stem from reality. Yeah, I agree. Our primary pursuit should be our own passions and pleasures. Well, every human wants to strive for pleasures. Every human wants to strive for the passions, right? But should it be our primary pursuit? My throat hurts, I'm very sorry. Should it be our primary pursuit? I don't know, right? But isn't the whole, most people believe that the meaning of life is personal pleasure, right? So, if this is our primary pursuit, then what's the meaning of life, right? Agree. There is a distinction between good and bad that goes beyond the mere human nature. I think there is. The primary goal of humanity is the pursuit of knowledge. I'm so sorry. The primary goal of humanity is the pursuit of knowledge. Every single day we do live in, we get so much knowledge, it's insane. But is it the primary pursuit of knowledge? Is the primary goal of Wow, I can't talk. If the primary goal of humanity What the heck? The primary goal of humanity is the pursuit of knowledge. I do agree. I think it is. Human beings possess a soul. Do we have a soul? Well, I believe that a soul is a personality thing. It basically like makes personality a more like it kind of like personifies your personality, right? And I feel like yeah, every single human is unique in their own ways. I agree. Individuals should always act in their own self-interest. I believe so. And if that self-interest is to help other people, then that's okay. Because you can find like a loophole in some things, right? That's pretty cool, huh? I guess it's agree. Each person has a function in society. I do think each person has a function in society. And does each person have a function? Well, obviously there are a lot of people out there that are more important than other people. That's just a fact. I know it might sound kind of mean, but there is. Like, I'm pretty sure, you know, someone who's a doctor is probably more important than someone who makes videos on the internet, right? That's just a fact, right? But does each person have function in society? If you make it so. So I'm gonna say agree. To some extent, agree. There was a way to live. There was a way to live that is morally ideal. I think there was a way to live any kind of thing. You just have to, right person, right time. But is there a way? I believe there is a way, but I don't know. It is not wise to be affected by strong passions and feels. Feels. That's an interesting question. I'm gonna go. I don't know. The universe obeys natural and fundamental laws. Math. Once I'm someone who's big in math, but sometimes math isn't always right. But math is like it turns like what like the laws of the universe, and math is like a way for us humans and basically like the laws of the universe and like the physical universe are a way for us to communicate to each other. But sometimes the communication can go haywire, right? But do they always obey the natural and fundamental laws? I don't know. I can't answer that question. Maybe if I have like a PhD in like science and mathematics and all that, I probably can. People cannot be truly altruistic. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look that up. I haven't heard that word in a long time. I heard of it. I don't know what it is. Showing a disinterest and selfless concern. Okay, so basically selflessness. People aren't. They cannot be truly that because you can't help people if you can't help yourself first, right? And I don't think you'll be living a good life if you can't even help yourself. So I don't think people can be altruistic, but I'm pretty sure there are. It's possible, but I don't know. Lofty ideals such as justice and liberty are of great importance to me. Yeah, being free is cool. I think a lot of people would like to have freedom. Good, God bless America, am I right? Authority must always be ridiculed. Should it be ridiculed? A lot of people ridicule authority a lot, right? But should it be? Well, if the people don't like the way you act, majority of the people don't like the way you act, then there's something wrong that you're doing wrong that a lot of people don't like. Agree. Without faith in God, we cannot be content. Okay, so my entire thing with religion is that it's a way. It's two ways. The first way is to manipulate people. I think religion that is to manipulate people and control them spiritually is horrible, and it should not be a thing. And if you're someone who believes in a religion that's almost cultish-like, you should rethink your entire life. There was also religion, most popular one, Christianity, that helps people because most of the people that I know who are extremely religious came from a very bad place. And when they say that they see God or they have a lot of faith in Jesus Christ, that means that they are heading towards a path of good, right? That's my thing. Again, I can't prove that. I can't disprove that because I don't know if there really is a God out there. There's so many religions out there. We don't know which one is true, so a lot of people just make one up, right? And I feel like if we're talking about the gods or like the quote unquote cultish religions out there, you won't be content. But if we're talking about like the good religion, like Christianity, for example, that helps people become better people, and like there's like a whole book of just good quotes to live by, we can be content, and it does help people, right? So without the faith of God, we cannot be content. I think if we have faith in God, I'm not religious, but I believe that if people have faith in God, I believe that they can be content, because they will always strive for the good, because if they live under God, they're living under good. And if they don't live under God, that means that they think that they're doing something wrong, so they try their best to avoid doing something wrong and live under God, which is, what they want to live under by, which is, objectively good. So that's my phone, I'm sorry. But I must say agree. I think religion is fine. Believe in whatever religion you can. Just make sure you are very aware that the religion that you believe in is truly a good religion for you. Emotion cannot be discounted when making decisions. Emotion has to be in there somewhere, but it should not be the primary focus of a decision. The primary focus of a decision is reasoning, seeing what's going to be the reaction, and then think of the consequences. Emotion should be in there somewhere, right? So I'm going to say agree. But it shouldn't be the primary reason why. We can never perceive true reality. We can't. There's no way to prove it. We should help those who are struggling in our society. Yeah. What's that called? I forgot what's called, like the wealth, gospel of wealth, right? And I think we should, because that's what a lot of people believe in, right? I agree. Right, let's see what happens. So, I'm very spiritual, okay? I am altruistic. I'm 50-50 ideal and pragmatism. I'm Hindu and asceticism. I don't even know what that is. Is this like science? I'm moralism. I'm more rational, and I'm more skeptical. Okay. Theism. What the hell is theism? Is that like a spiritual thing? Let me see. Theism. A philosophical approach to understanding the universe within oneself, and a fictional religion based on the worship of stars as gateways to gods. One theism is philosophy, emphasizing the creative force with all... Okay, yeah, true, I guess. Alright, so I am spiritualism, so some of reality transcends the physical. I don't believe it, but I also do not disagree with it. So society, I am altruistic, so the community is more important. I believe so. How you approach decision making and actions, I am 50-50, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm both the underlying principles are most important, the results are most important. Yes, these, I think the underlying principles and the results are equally important, right? Unless you really have to, it really depends, to be honest, actually. How you approach your indulgences. I'm more Hindu. Pleasure is intrinsically good, because a lot of people believe that, that's why. Whether you believe in objective meaning. So I'm not nihilistic, because nihilistic people would have already killed themselves. That's a joke, I'm just joking. But nihilistic believes that they don't really see a meaning in life. Morality and meaning are objective. Yes, they are. I am rationalistic. No crap. I'm in intellect and logic, of course. When you see things with logic and reasoning and intellectual and rationalism, you will open a lot of gateways to things that have restricted you because of your emotions. Your attitude towards knowledge. Skepticism. I'm skeptical. I think everybody is skeptical, because you can't really... that's why I like philosophy, because you can't really disprove or prove something that we don't know, right? Like the simulation thing. Sure, it sounds goofy. Oh, yeah, right. Life is a simulation. But give me the evidence to prove that it's not. And if people say, oh yeah, life is a simulation, okay, well, give me the evidence to prove that it is a simulation. And they can't prove it unless, I don't know, they probably do have some proof, but we can't really know. And that's what I like about skepticism. Okay, so these are my results. I don't know if these are normal. I don't know if I have good ones, but yeah. I guess I'm a theism. Is that? I think I spelled that wrong. Hold on. Oh wait, I looked at the wrong definition. The belief in existence of at least one. Okay, yeah, I guess that does, because I self-identified as a I self-identify as like a agnostic. I don't believe nor disbelieve the existence of a god out there. But I guess to believe in existence of at least one deity, I guess that does align more to me. I guess because I'm someone who believes in fate. I'm a big fate man. I think everything has fate, right? And fate kind of does lean towards like deity in some sort of way in my eyes, but I don't know. Okay, very interesting. That felt kind of cool to talk about that. And yeah, this is my 600th video. Wow, at 400 more, I'm at 1,000, and wow, that's a lot of videos on the internet I have about myself. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.